everyone, it's Brian. Welcome to my backyard and garden. For those of you who watched the previous update, thanks for all the views and comments. I really didn't think that it would be one of the more popular videos. So I thought I'd follow up with an update for you guys. This is my backyard, and I didn't give you a wide shot of it before, but here it is as I pan. I don't have a lot of square footage in the house, so I like to keep as much as the space open as possible to feel less claustrophobic, and then my son and I can come out for a stretch. In this video I'll also include some plants that I left out in the last video. This galangal wasn't left out in the last video. It's actually grown quite a lot, so I'm continuing to monitor it. It looks like it has a little bit burned from too much sun, so I need to remember to give it a little bit more shade. Here are a couple of custard apples. I started these from seed last year, and it's already producing some flower buds. I planted one into the ground, and then the other one I kept it into the pot as an insurance policy, and I think I'm ready to transplant it a few feet away, maybe right here. And this is where I had a mound of clay that I had collected from digging around, and I've been using it in mixing my soil. Half the work's already done as far as transplanting because I have a little pit going on. These are coral colored gladiolus, and the bulbs came from the parent bulbs. They take a while before they get big, so this is where I start them in. This is a sharp blue blueberry. It's one of the commercial varieties, and one of the first blueberries I plant into the ground. The ground was filled with Christmas tree pine needles. This one here is a sharp blue blueberry, and it's one of the blueberries that I've had for the longest time now. I'm comfortable enough with blueberry growing that I'm going to plant it into the ground. So come Christmas or after Christmas, I'm going to do the same dig a big old hole and fill it with pine needles and put this plant on top. This is a Kapoor tulsi. It's self-sowing. One of the seeds flew into the drain hole of this pot, and it's turned into a plant. This is a flax. I put it in a pot. It was actually from the front yard when I shifted things around, and I had an extra flax, so I put it there. This is a daylily that I grew from a proliferation. A proliferation is basically a plant that grows on the flower stalk, and this is its parent flower. I believe it's a double daylily and the variety Kwanso. Again, back here are the elephant ear, and then we have the dwarf kale again. Nothing's changed too much. Down here are some thornless blackberries. Past the bearded iris, and down here are some shallots that were grown from seed. I let the pot kind of dry out a little bit, and these guys are ready to be used. So how I use them, I slice them up into rings, deep fry them, and store them, and I add them to noodle soup. It gives the noodle soup a nice toasted flavor. It adds sweetness too. So really, really useful. The papaya dropped. So if you remember from last month, there was a papaya, and then still waiting on the flowers. So hopefully this is not a male papaya tree. Down below are some Italian Roma bush tomatoes. I put this one in a cage as an example. They're pretty rigid right now. They don't really need caging or support. So maybe I won't need to do that. Back here is where I pretty much throw green waste, brown waste as a way to compost. And since nothing's really growing up against the wall, I thought I'd just use this space for composting. Already the wood lice are working on breaking this all down. So that's what I'm using the back of the trellis for. It also helps retain moisture, having a layer of green stuff on top, green and brown stuff. Down below, the Siam Queen Thai basil. They're not really taking off yet. This one is starting to bolt, so I'm going to pinch it off. I don't want it to bolt and have all its energy in seed production. And over here is the Klondike watermelon. It's still It's still growing. I like the size of the leaves right now, so hopefully it'll grow more. The daikon radish are making seeds, and it looks like some of the birds are enjoying them already. The sugar pie pumpkin is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to make a pumpkin pie this weekend, and hopefully I'll make a video for you guys, and we can watch that. Here are some other sugar pie pumpkins. They come in various sizes, and um, here is, hey, cool, look, it's a asparagus bean, and it's already made one. There's that. This is a bean that's forming, and we got a blossom. And this is a cowpea. I planted a lot of things way early in the winter or in the spring where it's still cold, and a lot of these things didn't really take off. This is a bitter melon. Down below, I'm not sure if this is a volunteer plant or if this is turmeric. So I planted turmeric in this general area, so once again, I'm hoping it's a turmeric. This is a bitter melon, and we're getting some flowers. I haven't seen any female flowers yet. It's a very slow growing plant. This is my second year of trying to grow the bitter melon. And back this way is the turmeric. I'm really impatient sometimes. I move the dirt away to see how it's growing, if it's growing. So the turmeric, it can take a long time, longer than ginger and galangal, to pop out of the ground. I should give it a little bit more dressing. Here is the mammoth sunflower, and last time it was flowering, and this time it's gone to seed. So there's a lot of seeds here to collect. So and looks like there's a June beetle right on the right there. You may have to rewind a little bit and pause. Over here are some watermelon. This is a very oddly shaped watermelon. It's a yellow. These are marigold. It's a yellow mountain sweet watermelon. The marigold are making seeds already. The watermelon has yellow flesh. That's another bean. Back here, the mammoth melting sugar peas have gone to seed. So I'll collect the seed and compost all that stuff. Have some more sunflowers. The strawberries have no more fruit on them. They're ever bearing, so I forget if they're supposed to fruit again. If not, now I'm just concentrating on making sure they get a lot of good soil so that they can store their energy for next year. This is the national pickling cucumber, and I'm going to pull it out soon. These are the cinnamon basil. They're starting to bolt. All the cucumbers from last time in this area, they've gone kaput, so no more cucumbers. Here's another yellow mountain sweet watermelon, and this is an heirloom Gallica rose, and I don't know how long it's been here, because when we moved here 5, 6 years ago, all of this area was overgrown, and this brick here, I moved it a foot away from the wall. So the brick, they pretty much had a paver as a border, but it was grown. It was growing with all of this stuff here. If you know what this plant is called, let me know. I've been trying to figure that out for the longest time. So basically, this thing grew all the way down from the retaining wall, and it was pretty much a 1.5 foot wall. I cut it all back to create this growing area. That was a passion fruit. This is a trumpet flower. I like variegated things. It has a cool flower, and it also has seed pods, and they're also variegated. So this is what it looked like when it's fresh. Now it's dry. This is a butternut squash. Last time I confused it for a kombucha squash, but I saw some female flowers and they were butternut squash shaped. Hiding below is a bitter melon, and this is the purple potato. I said I was going to mount it, but I never got around to it. This is either a volunteer tomato or a black prince tomato, so I'm not really sure. Usually volunteer tomatoes are cherry tomatoes, so if they get any bigger, then we'll know what it is and also what color they turn. These are white corn. These are the Burpee XP hybrid white corn of some sort. And below are watermelons. I'm growing the corn as more of a prop for my kid's birthday that's coming up. Down below I found some more yellow mountain sweet watermelons. I hadn't been checking for watermelons until doing this video right now, so until recording this video, so I'm kind of surprised to find a couple of watermelons this size. Those are pretty good sized watermelons for this point. I've been growing sugar babies, and I'm expanding onto other watermelon varieties now. This is a manzanita. It's a Pacific Mist. That's the variety. I like manzanita because they have really cool bark, red bark, and pretty cool structure. This is the kombucha squash sugar pie pumpkin hybrid. It's turning orange. Here are a couple more sugar pie pumpkins. One is already orange and one is on its way, so there's a good contrast. I'm seed saving this golden bantam corn now, and I'll have a lot of seeds for next year. It looks like I won't need to buy them. Back here behind the compost bin, I didn't show you guys last time, is where I'm planting a bay laurel tree as a screen, because from the sidewalk you can see my backyard. So hopefully it'll grow quickly. Bay laurel is the tree that makes bay leaves. It's a native tree in California. And over here is a wing bean. I grew some wing bean last year. I didn't get any, so I'm hoping to get some wing bean. And it's sitting back here on top of an incinerator. So way back when, in California, people incinerated their trash. And this is my best effort last year of growing a wing bean. It took over the avocado. It shaded the avocado, which was the cool thing because the avocado needed it. This is a pink lemonade, and touching it and it falling off means it's ripe. I made some lemonade, some Arnold Palmer lemonade. Dongling Cha, it's a Hong Kong version, which is iced lemon sweet tea. The garlic chive, they're nice and green. I discovered that I was underwatering them, so they're nice and green now. The yuzu, there's still no blossoms formed yet. And these are the seeds that never germinated. Over here are some Japanese cucumber. I've already harvested the golden band of corn. And this, I believe, is a black crim tomato. Black crims are heirloom tomatoes. And down here is this Japanese cucumber. That's what the seed packet says. And it's not done growing. So I'm thinking this is going to be a 2-footer at least. So with all the dull color and all the roughage, it means it's not ready yet. So this is the male flower. I also have the tall celery that you saw last time, but it's been drowned out by the cucumber. Here is a sugar baby watermelon, and that's the watermelon variety that I started with because it doesn't seem very intimidating. The watermelon doesn't get big, so it feels a little bit easier to do. These are some beefsteak tomatoes. I tried to train it around this pole, but it's having its own mind about that. So it's got some fruit on it. I need a seed save, so I'm hoping to be able to get some seeds and save them this year. Past the pile of sticks, or near the pile of sticks, the 2 baking potatoes have sprouted, and I'm starting to mound them. Here is the other one, and I've discovered some dealio with physics with regard to mounding potatoes. As I mound more, the surface area gets bigger, and I haven't been able to mound them as high as I like. This is a spiral plumeria that I've grown from a cutting. That's my first attempt, and I've got really lucky, and it seems to have taken. It's already starting to make flowers. This is another manzanita. This is a Howard McMinn. It'll grow as tall as 10 feet. So unlike the other one that you saw earlier, that one grows to about 2 feet tall. This is the Ericobert Trump de Farcy bean, and I'm already seed saving. I want to pick or show you the nice, cool, variegated shell that it has. This is a piss-off plant. I didn't show it to you last time. It's supposed to ward off cats and dogs and all that other stuff, but I don't think it works. It has a really cool flower though. This is the ginger that we saw last time. It's got a little bit of a burning from too much sun. With the bean growing in thick, hopefully it'll help it shade it a little bit. The milkweed has taken off now. Last time when we saw the milkweed, it was in a state that was pretty much how it was for the longest time, and it's doubled in growth. So the Robertson's navel orange, I don't think it's doing too well. It's got a little bit of sunburning happening. I have to move it to another spot. These are Bangladeshi long eggplant, and that's not how they're supposed to look. They're actually supposed to look green like this one. This is a red dragon fruit, and my tortoise likes to eat them. He ate it down to pretty much the nub. It grew back, and then he's found it again, and he's been chewing on it. The red potatoes are still growing, and once again, running into a problem with physics where I can only mound so much before I run out of area to mound. Down here is some bull blood beet, a couple of them. I've grown those before, and they get pretty big, so hopefully I get the same results. The sugar pie pumpkin, here's another one. So it's made one, the tortoise ate it. Made another one, the tortoise ate it. That one's hiding pretty well. Tortoise hasn't gotten it yet. Maybe the tortoise is waiting for it to be bigger before it eats it. The roses are in bloom again. This is a Florbedia type tree rose. It's hard to capture its color on camera because it's oversaturated, but it makes these really cool campfire-like flowers. On the slope is pomegranate, and down below I've begun mulching this area. I have not been having too much luck with it. There's too much sun and not enough shade for the dirt, so it bakes it and it hardens like clay. And then sometimes my tortoise comes and eats the seedlings. These are mojito mint, and they're a little bit sunburned. Later in the year they'll get nice and lush. I maybe want to move some of them to a nicer shaded spot so that we can get some mojito mint to make mojitos with. That was a zucchini, the dark star. I'm letting that go to seed. And here are some garlic chive. Once again, I plant things on the edge of the yard so that the rest of the yard could be open space. And here are the artichoke that are now going to seed, but at their bloom they look really cool. This is the dark star zucchini that I planted for succession planting, and it's grown well. It's on the hugel bed, and it's already starting to blossom. This is a rainbow plumeria. I got this last year. My wife actually picked it up from someone around the neighborhood. It's got really pretty flowers, and it's starting to blossom again. Some Stelley okra, and I think that's one of the faster growing okra. So there's some catch-up time. These are the Ishikura long winter scallions, and I'm mounding those. So if you see the white parts of the onion, I guess by mounding it, you'll get more of those. Scallions, and then down here is some sorrel. I've been picking them off and throwing them on top of the dirt. I'm trying to create some mulching here. This is, if you look at the dirt, it's pretty bad. I'm trying to improve the soil. Those are some poblano. That is a poblano pepper and a couple of poblano pepper plants. The winter melon, it's still continuing to grow nicely. This is a Morel blood orange. And then seeds that never germinated. So one of the things I learned this year is if you have really hot temperatures, make sure your seeds are out of the sun, because I think we got seeds that were cooked, so they never germinated. That is a Camellia sinensis, also known as a tea bush, the plant that black and green tea comes from. My pumpkin patch is growing. We have more female flowers, and this is more of the Ishikura long winter scallions. I'm behind on mounding these. I need to add more soil and maybe transplant them. And in the back are more garlic chive. This is a winter melon or wax melon, and I see a female blossom. It doesn't look like it's pollinated, so we're on the way, hoping to get a winter melon for the first time ever. Lemon verbena. This is the other jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. It's got one pumpkin that looks like it's been pollinated. And down in here is where the other ginger is growing. And once again, this looks like it's a good ginger microclimate. This one, if I can make my way through the growth here. Unlike the other one that you saw earlier, it doesn't have any burning on its leaves, and it's also triple the size. So this is a good spot. I guess lots of shade for them early on. This is a pumpkin slash squash. I'm not going to review its variety. I'm going to keep that a secret until we get something. So that's I'm going to hopefully have fun with that, and hopefully there will be a pumpkin to review. This is Moroccan mint, and it's the mint that they put in Moroccan tea. So it's doing well as opposed to the other mint because it has a good bit of shade over here. Those were some Gerber daisies. This is another pie pumpkin, and we have a little pumpkin that's underneath there. Here are the watermelon. This one is a moon and star, and these ones over here are likely to be Klondike. We have some volunteer amaranth. Here's another Klondike, and the soil here is pretty bad. I'm trying to improve it by adding some manure on top. This is a marquee moon daylily, and it's got really cool flowers, and already there's a, hey look, there's a spider walking around. I love me them spiders. They really help out in the garden. Here's another volunteer amaranth. It's got some variegatedness going on. And some bougainvillea. I really dislike bougainvillea. They have spikes and grow aggressively. That was a glimpse of Sheldon, my tortoise. Here are some cam sa, which is a Vietnamese type pomelo and tangerine hybrid. The purple plant was a cranberry hibiscus. That was my moringa that was chewed up by the caterpillar. I found it. It's gone now. So this is where I'm starting some freesia from seed. Those were some chives that you saw that was blooming. And coming back this way, So yeah, we made our way from the left side, and we're back down over here now where some of the pots are. And in the planter that I made, but before we get to the planter, back here are some chestnut red garlic that I harvested, and this is my second year, I believe, of growing them. On the rake are some of the larger ones that I'll replant. The ones that are on the ledge there, I'm gonna use in the kitchen. This is a planter that I built from some redwood fencing material, and on there was a Rama Thai holy basil. This is a Brussels sprout, and the haricot vert have gone to seed. That's another. This is the haricot vert that's gone to seed, and the green plant that's growing here is a volunteer kapoor tulsi. The haricot vert seed is kind of boring. It's not as cool as the other one. This is the nickel variety. It's not as cool as the Trump the Farsi variety as far as looks, but tastes much better. This is a dragon's tongue arugula that I'm letting go to seed. The seeds are really small. There's one right there that you can hardly see. Georgia Southern collard greens. Here's a caterpillar that's going to be fish food. My cichlid's going to eat this. This is a yellow daylily, and it already bloomed, so it's not looking too nice. This is a beefsteak tomato. Rather, I think it might be a mortgage lifter. They're pretty much one and the same. And some beans that are climbing this pole here. And the pole's already gotten. Before I get to that, here are some Casablanca Asiatic lily, the lilac plant, and some sawdust from some weevil that's found its way into this pole. So I guess he's breaking down and making us some good soil. More of the nickel, haricot vert beans that have gone to seed. And this is a Gwen avocado. It was over there previously with the intensity of the sun being that it's summer. I've moved it over here where there's a little bit more shade. This is a sanguinelli blood orange. It's doing really well over here. We have morning sun and afternoon shade. My brother gave me more white mulberry trees that he grew from cutting. I don't know where to put them. He obviously doesn't know where to put them, so he gave them to me. Here is the reed avocado, and I have this cover to protect it from the sun, and it just dropped because I was actually trying to get a better shot of it, and here it is now. This is why my parents always tell us when we were kids never to touch fruit, because if you touch it, it can fall off. So it's okay, folks. I guess I'll get over it. I still have another one, so I'm not gonna touch it anymore. I don't want this one to drop because this tree, after 2 years of owning it, is finally fruiting, and I want to taste. I'm curious to taste the fruit to see what it's like. So I think October is when it'll be ready. In the planter are some. That was a Krishna Tulsi, yard-long bean, some Black Prince tomatoes, and some togarashi, Japanese for chili pepper. More Black Prince tomatoes. I'm going through these planters quickly. I have separate videos if you like to see more of what's growing here. Some jalapeno. I got some marigold that I grow in front there for some kind of companion planting. It helps ward off some of the pests. That was a beefsteak tomato. That is a Aunt Ruby German green tomato. I hope I got that right this time. I keep getting the name wrong. This is my succulent planter. Let me know if you want to see videos on that. Here are some more plants in the other planter, the Kalankic melon, which I'm growing for Gardens of America. I have a separate mini series going on. These are some Tokyo long white scallions, some bird eye pepper, Abigail's coffee okra, some parsley, more Black Prince tomatoes. These are some watermelon. This is one that's being grown for Gardens of America project. It's a Yuwang sweet watermelon. And I have a bunch of more Roma tomatoes. I'm hoping to sun dry them or make salsa or even pasta with it. I have some yard long, or these are just regular powder star beans that are being grown for Gardens of America. And I planted some sunflowers so that they can climb on there. And those are the plants and trees that I have growing in my backyard. There are a couple of small spots back here that I keep forgetting to show you, so I'll be sure to do that. Thanks always for joining me out here. I appreciate your company, and until the next video, happy gardening, and I'll catch you next time.